daily soccer podcast with the Global Sports Podcast Network.
Hello and welcome to part 2 of the Newcastle Forest crossover podcast. My name is still Iain Mackay. This is still the Daily Newcastle. I am still hosting, but after 3 hours, we have given up trying to get Marley to speak for any longer than what you have already heard. That was the longest we managed. And although I've talked to him about the rest of the stuff that we were going to talk to, it's just going to be me doing a solo crossover podcast. I know it's philosophically wrong, but what can you do? I think we had just about got through to the end of part 1, which means that I should start this with this.
Your body is unique. And Global Sports Podcast Network has partnered with Bioniq, the world's most personalised supplements. Bioniq provide 100% tailor-made supplements designed to deliver precisely what your body needs at exactly the right levels to optimise your health. No guessing. So click the link in the show notes.
Right now, and welcome back. This is part 2, although don't feel it's confusing. Now, what we were going to talk about, what we did talk about, but what we were going to talk about was injuries and suspensions and the possible lineup for the Newcastle Forest game tomorrow. I hope Eddie Howe picks the same team as he had on Thursday night at USG, with the exception of substituting Lewis Hall in at left back for Dan Burn. Give Dan Burn some time off. It's my guess. That's what I hope we can do. One thing which I do know is that there will be no Wissa for quite some time. He's extended prognosis on his extent of his knee injury. A further 2 weeks. He's probably coming back to start of November. But the good news is that Jacob Ramsey has been training and he is fit to take a place on the bench. So we might see even more than the 40 minutes we've already seen of Jacob Ramsey. Fingers crossed. Forest don't suddenly discover themselves as the attacking force that Postecoglou dreams that they are, and we are 3 or 4 goals up after an hour, and Ramsey can come on and show us what he can do. So that was the Newcastle bit. I don't think we've got any more injuries. What I did hear from Marley, though, is that Douglas Luiz, Zinchenko and Iain are all definitely out. And Murillo, who has been injured but came back and played in their game against Midtjylland, but went off. So they don't know about him. They don't know whether he'll be fit enough to come in. Now, in a way, I kind of hope he is fit enough to come in, because when he came in, Postecoglou played with 3 at the back, and I do think that we play very well against teams that have got 3 at the back and wing backs, because we can get in behind them. But without Murillo, the back 2 are not going to be as robust. I think Milenkovic is a fantastic player. I'm not sure about Morata. Still not sure about Morata. So there's some Cheryl stuff going on the computer. So I just had a complete wipeout there. I'll have to try and remove that in the mix, as they say. We talked a little bit about the transfer market with him. He is a big fan of Aqua. He says he's a great player. He's been in good form. He said that you need to look out for Nico Williams, who's been in great form this year, and might actually end up marking Alanga, which would be interesting. Igor Jesus is somebody who you need to look out for, although I think Chris Wood will probably play centre forward, but Jesus might come on. He scored twice against Betis and twice against Swansea in the Carabao Cup. I've got another wipeout here, so I'm just pretending that nothing's happening. Did you notice that? No, good. Yeah. And obviously, he said Murillo and Milenkovic are always worth watching at a set piece. But we've dealt with them before. I don't know what's happening here. Let's listen to this. What a nightmare this podcast has been, although it's delightful to be able to talk to you, of course. And if you've stuck this far, thank you very much indeed. You must be desperate to know what our predictions are. My prediction is a comfortable Newcastle win. I'm hoping that we have that confidence that we showed away at USG, and we can bring that in to start quickly. I'd be more than happy to be 4-1 up at half time like we were last year. One thing that Marley couldn't get over is that Ange Postecoglou is trying to play a very attack-minded game, pressing quite high, playing through the middle, with a team who would far rather be soaking up some pressure and bringing Newcastle onto them and then hitting them on the break in transition, which is what they got all of the success last year with. But they haven't looked like doing that. And in fact, they're not very good at playing through teams through the middle, which is why Marley sounded so depressed. So I am hoping that we will start strong and we will score a couple of goals and make it easy for us, because I don't think Forest have got any other way of playing other than the way that will let us in. So I'm going to go for a very modest, and the first time this season I have predicted this, 3-1 win for Newcastle. Marley's suggestion, which he could accept as he's his 5-hour coach journey back home from St James's Park, is a 3-0 loss. So Newcastle to win 3-0. We've got to bump up the goal difference, haven't we? That's what I'm saying. Now, I have had the 5th time blacked out here. I'm not even going to try and continue with this. We've got our crossover podcast out, so there's something coming out. Thank you very much for listening. Apologies for how awful technically this has been. It might even get pulled at the end, I don't know. But we will be back. Michael will be back straight after the game with his immediate post-match reaction. So we'll enjoy that. We'll see you all soon.